Hey, I'm Alexandra Harbushka, founder of Life with Herpes, and today I want to talk to you about the 5 ways we hold ourselves back with our herpes diagnosis. So it doesn't matter where you are on your journey. When you are diagnosed with herpes, it is probably the most devastating day of your life. I can remember for myself, when I learned I was diagnosed with herpes, it was truly devastating. I was driving when I got the news from my doctor that said, "Hey, Alexandra, I'm sorry to tell you, you have herpes." Now, some of us get over this shock, this devastation, whatever you want to call it, immediately, which I'm always jealous of the people that do. For me personally, it took me about 2 years to get through it, to get over it. And one of the reasons why I believe, hey Scarlett, one of the reasons why it took so long to get over it was I was alone. This is back in 2011. So Facebook was still pretty new. Social media was still, it was just a different thing than it is today. Google was very different than it is today. So the whole process of coping with it was you're just alone. And what ended up happening with me is I went into a really dark phase. I like to call it my Eeyore phase. Like how Eeyore walks around with a rain cloud over him. That was basically me. I was stuck there for about 2 years. Like I said, I was struggling at work. I was struggling financially. I had a lot of debt I had to pay off. I was surrounded by people that may not have been the best people in my life. I wouldn't say I had a drinking problem, but I never turned down a happy hour. I just was, when you're stuck in that rut, your lifestyle choices aren't the smart ones that you can make, right? So I don't know if this sounds familiar to you, but whatever it is, there's definitely a phase that you go through when you are diagnosed. So here's 5 ways that we hold ourselves back with our herpes diagnosis. Number 1 is fear. And fear can be a really good thing, right? Like it can save us from, a lion running after us, right? Like that's a good thing. Or a car that's coming at you, or it can, prevent you from falling off a cliff, literally. Like fear is a good thing. But in other cases, fear is not a good thing, right? So with herpes, having fear of either people knowing you have herpes, fear of just herpes itself, fear of telling potential partners, fear of what's gonna happen in your life. Now that you have herpes, like the unknown, that is something that holds us back with our herpes diagnosis. Again, we just kind of get stuck either in the fight or flight mode or freeze mode with this whole fear. All right, number 2 is holding on to shame and guilt. So perhaps you have shame, like people with herpes, like maybe you feel like you did something wrong, right? So like the shame associated with it, or like the scarlet letter of herpes, right? Like it's shameful. Or the guilt of like, oh, well, if I would have never met this person, or if I would have never had, those shots at the bar, I would have never gone home with them. Like whatever narrative and story you tell yourself, you're holding on to it. And you convince yourself subconsciously that a person with this much guilt or a person with this much shame doesn't deserve to be happy, right? Whether you're doing it consciously or doing it subconsciously, you're telling yourself, like, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve to have a happy marriage. I don't deserve to accomplish my goals. I don't deserve to fall in love because I have herpes, right? Like that's that's what you end up telling yourself. So that is something that really, really will hold us back. Number 3, why herpes holds us back is you're stuck in comfort mode. So you now know what it feels like to have herpes, right? Like it's like the old shoe that fits. You're comfortable in this, like, I have herpes, I'm an Eeyore, I'm in a dark cloud, I know what it feels like to, be whatever other things that are happening in your life. Like in my case, I was struggling financially, I had debt, I was struggling at work. Like that was comfortable to me. I knew what that felt like. I knew, and getting out of the comfort mode, having to make life changes, having to figure out a solution to pay down credit card debt, having to change my lifestyle, my diet, my health in order to get my health on track to help regulate herpes. Like, all of that was uncomfortable. I was out of my comfort zone, right? I was in cruise control. I was just going through life, and I knew I had to make those changes. So you gotta get out of comfort mode in order to make some life changes here and get out of your rut. Number 4, we don't let ourselves be happy. Now, that goes back to the guilt, that goes back to the shame, that goes to feeling like you don't deserve anything. But really what frustrates me about it and what gets me going about it is we, the people with herpes, or the people who have been diagnosed with herpes, are putting the happiness, we're letting the herpes virus control our happiness, right? So it sounds something just as silly as saying like, oh, I'm gonna allow, I'm gonna allow this pillow to dictate my happiness. What? I would never let this pillow dictate if I'm happy or sad or angry or mad or whatever, right? Like that would be so silly. That you would be like, Alexandra, that something's not right with you, right? So same thing with the herpes virus. Like, why would you let a microscopic virus that you can't even see control your happiness? That makes zero sense, right? Now I get it, there's the stigma, and I get that maybe you're physically in pain right now with a diagnosis, and I get that, but it really sounds and is as silly as letting this pillow that I'm really comfortable in control my happiness. So that holds us back from, it's one of the 5 things that holds us back. All right, and number 5, this is the one that really gets me because I see it a lot. So it's self-sabotage. So we've decided now that we have herpes, whether it's conscious or subconscious, that, remember I mentioned we're not deserving of happiness, we're not deserving, we have all this guilt, we have all this shame, and we will self-sabotage any situation that we're in because we don't deserve it because we have herpes. So a perfect example of this that I see all the time in our secret society is I will see people say, hey, well, I was dating this great person and I just broke up with them because I have herpes. So I just wanted to save it. I wanted to save them from, dealing with it, and I don't want to give it to them. So I just broke up with them. I saved them from it, right? Why would you do that? If they're okay and they know that you have herpes and they're okay with it, why would you self-sabotage a perfectly healthy relationship because you have herpes, right? We also can do that in other ways. We can self-sabotage our careers. We can self-sabotage our health. Oh, well, I can't go to the gym because I have herpes. I don't want to get an outbreak. Or I don't. If I switch my diet or if I eat these foods, it could cause an outbreak. What? If I work hard and go to school and
change my major, there could be more finals and then it could cause an outbreak. What? So these are all excuses, and there's where they may not sound like an excuse at the time, they really are self-defense mechanisms, and they're reasons why we self-sabotage. So as you can see, there's a lot of reasons why we put the future of our herpes diagnosis, we put our future in our hands because of our herpes diagnosis. It holds us back. I am so guilty of this too. I am not saying I wasn't there. I was there starting in 2011 for 2 years. I get it. I was there. I was an Eeyore. I was I was so dark, so sad. And really what was missing from my life and my situation was community. I felt alone, I said that earlier. I didn't have people to talk to. So that's why I created the secret society that is with the Life with Herpes community. I mean, we have hundreds of people throughout the world in this community asking questions like, hey, how do I tell this person? Or I'm stuck in the fear, I don't want to date. Or I'm just not happy today. Can you guys send me some words of wisdom? So it is such a beautiful community filled with people who offer 24/7 handholding. So I would love to invite you over there. If you have not yet checked it out, go check it out. Go to lifewithherpes.com. Check out the Secret Society. Join, say hi. Oh, and I'm live. We do 2 live weekly calls on Mondays. So come just say hi, come join. All right, I'll see you soon in the next video, and I hope you have a great day. Bye. All right, I just got done recording with Jenna Roberts. She is a member of the Secret Society, and she talks about how being a member of the Secret Society truly empowers her, gave her growth, allowed for friendships. It is such a great podcast interview. I would love for you to go check it out. If this, what you just watched here on this YouTube video, you want more nitty gritty, you wanna know more about the Secret Society, all that. I mean, she talks about how we get stuck in this like, why me phase, and how, you know, we take forever to get over the healing of learning and just this journey and being alone. Anyways, I can go on and on and on, but why don't you just go check it out yourself? I have it linked for you here, and go check it out. It's such a great episode. Bye.